on this great celebration. I spoke to Mum this morning about it before I came, and she was really very honoured, very excited, and very happy. So thank you very much for making a happy mum, which clearly makes a happy family. If I were to say a few personal words about Mum as a writer, we're going to hear perhaps later about some of the writing. I think of her unusual story as a daughter in an Indian family going to college, big university, very early on. This would be late 50s. I think of someone who was a geography teacher who changed careers and became a writer, and a successful writer. And I think for all of those budding writers out there, that's a story that if you want to write, you should write. I think of the fact that her books show a great diversity of voice. Butterfly in the Wind, which is one of the required readings for people doing Caribbean literature at Cape, is the voice of an innocent young lady growing up, a young girl growing up, as Trinidad reaches for its independence and thinks about what it is and who it is. Shastra is a love story. Very hard for a son to read a love story from your mother. Shastra is a love story. It's also serious tackling and dealing with issues of women, modern women in modern society, growing up in a Hindu culture. And some of this is not from a stereotypical perspective, but about the incongruities, about some of the inconsistencies, and some of the ways in which society is modernizing. And where women's role and power can be properly expressed. For the Love of Thy Name, my favorite book, is really a political story about the treatment of the Indian community in Guyana. But it's really a story that is bigger than just a racial story, but a story of all peoples suffering from strong and powerful governments and bullying governments. So I think of these different voices. I think of these different stories, and all of her writing, she tried to say something of meaning, to say something of take a personal story and give it greater meaning. And the other thing I would say, as a personal story, because we will hear from more qualified people to talk about her writing, but is she inspired us all. She inspired us all to be writers. She inspired us to think that words matter and to think carefully about words. I've become a speechwriter for some of the prime ministers you may know in the region. I'm an economist, but the way I write and articulate economics comes not from my father but from my mother. My brother is a psychiatrist and who has now penned many well-known books. My wife has now won the Costa Book Award, the Commonwealth Short Story Competition, the BBC Short Story Competition. My sister is a writer. All of that really because of our mother. And so we are grateful for your celebration. We're grateful for her journey, and we're grateful for this community in encouraging her, supporting her, and pushing her. Thank you very much indeed.